doesn't mean that you have to go devoid a
Correct.
certain thing that you like. You have to just balance it. But I think what has really worked for Raj is intermittent, and you have been
Intermittent
guiding him
fasting.
on it. So he's done it 7 days in a row, and I can really see great results. So you've written about it. You've just come out with your book. Tell us about it. How does it work? What's the magic?
So it's simple. I think everyone is eating way too much and at different timings every day. Like Shilpa, I remember you had that discipline, and I think you still have it, of eating your dinner before sunset. You eat early dinners and you don't eat anything after that. That's exactly what it is. You need to leave a gap between your dinner and your next meal. So anywhere between 12, depending, is fantastic. That's good enough. And that's exactly what Raj is doing. But a lot of people push themselves into fasting.
So 14
They start
is
drinking.
okay? You don't have to push it to 16?
Not necessary. Not necessary at all. You know, when your body tells you to break the fast, it's physically hungry, you break the fast because your body's done its job. And I think Raj is doing it pretty well. He keeps messaging me, you know, 16 hours, 15 hours, and it's perfectly well. Listen to your body. And that's how fasting has to be. It is therapeutic. It is therapeutic for health.
Yes. You know, also, give us tips on, while I know this is your area of expertise and we're talking about nutrition, we got cut off when we were discussing gut health and how important it is to look after your gut in times like this, because, you know, we want our immunity to be at its best, and how gut health is actually directly related to our immunity. So talk about that, Luke, and give us some simple pointers on how to maintain it.
Sure, Shilpa. So the gut is everything. It's your second brain. In anatomy, it's called your second brain. So it's connected with your immune system and also your feelings. We've had so many patients who have come to us with depression, and all we've done is fix their gut because they had really bad gut health, bloating, acidity, and then their traits of depression actually disappear. For a lot of people who are depressed, because your gut has an impact on your mind, how you feel, your serotonin, your dopamine. So if you have really bad gut health, you may not be depressed, but you have the feeling of being depressed. And then you could actually be treated the wrong way. So when it comes to your gut, at least 75% of your immune system starts in your gut. So we need to invest in that. Some of the simplest things is, number one, cut out sugar. People keep Googling what are the best foods for the gut, but we need to take away the things which are bad for the gut. So number one is white sugar. We have to cut that down. You can eat organic berries all through the day, but if you have too much of sugar, your bad bacteria is going to be more than the good bacteria. So we need to cut down sugar for sure. You know, if we really want something sweet, we can move to a good raw honey. We can move to maybe stevia, a little bit of jaggery, but it has to be in balance. Number two are your prebiotics and your probiotics. Examples of prebiotics are your garlic, your onion, all of this, apple cider vinegar. These are great prebiotics. And probiotics are your yogurts, your curds, certain pickles, which are made the right way, your kimchis. All of these are fantastic probiotics. And in India, especially South India, we have rice kanji, where you take the leftover rice, soak it overnight in water, and in the morning you drink that water and eat the rice. By far, that is one of the most powerful probiotics we have seen work with people. So I think with gut health, we can't overeat. If we overeat, we're putting too much of acids and the digestion becomes very complicated. If we're constipated, we need to sort out constipation. Otherwise, that in turn has an adverse effect on the gut. So I think symptoms that people need to look out for is acidity, constant burping, bloating all the time, you know, flatulence, too much of gas, too much of flatulence, and constipation. And sometimes you look at your tongue and it's yellow at the back, thick white, that means your gut isn't too good.
Yeah, and I found my new poison now. I'm having my CCFT, and you can explain to people what it's. Yeah, it's cumin, coriander, roasted, and fennel seeds. So it's
that's a great combination.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it really works for me because I am governed by Vata dosh. So I have the tendency of getting a little acidic. So this is something I sip on it religiously. And, you know, in times like this, while we are, you know, obviously combating with a virus that can't survive in hot conditions, and I'm talking about even hot conditions in your body. So you have to obviously constantly feed yourself with hot water, just as a preventive measure. So this is something I keep sipping on all the time. And it's really helped with my acidity. And I'm not as acidic anymore, but back in the day I used to be. So for all those people who think that, oh, it all looks great, no, we all have issues. We're all human. We're all fallible, and it's wonderful to know that nothing in life is impossible to deal with. There are always,
Right.
it's not rocket science, and nutrition is one of those things that if you get it right, you can lead
Correct.
a very healthy and happy life. So if you're happy from within, it will, it will reflect on the outward, and that's
So,
exactly why we have Luke with us, who's going to help us.
Shilpa, I have a question for you. How come from the time I've met you,
Yeah.
we've traveled together, all of that stuff, I've never seen you stressed out. I've never seen you tensed. I've never seen you sad. Even when, there were like, you had acidity or whatever it is. I've never seen you stressed. So I really want to know that because you have a busy life, you have a family, you're a hands-on mom. I know that. I know that you do everything for your kids. A lot of people out there assume that the rich people and, a lot of people in Bollywood have nannies for their kids and actors, and all of that stuff. But I've seen you with Vian. I've seen you right through your hands-on. I also remember we were late for our flight back from Qatar to Bombay. We had an event and like they would literally close the gates and you were just smiling and laughing and you were not tense. And I was like so worried that we're going to miss the flight. What is your secret? How are you happy all the time? And genuinely, people who are watching this, I've been with Shilpa and genuinely, it's not a face that she puts on. She's never stressed out. So now you need to tell us what you do because I'm constantly telling people to meditate and breathe and do all of that stuff. You tell us what you do, Shilpa.
I really think that I really think I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. Um, I do get depressed. I do get worried when I see the news. When I see, I was going through these articles, and it really broke my heart to see people traveling bare feet, and they had calluses on their feet, and pregnant women walking all the way home. These things, it's other people's problems that actually depress me. We all have our fair share of problems, Luke, and it's not true that I do not get upset and I don't get angry. Maybe it is also the energy that I get from you. You're such a happy, positive person, and you exude
Not all the
that. So
time.
that's
So I guess you're right. Not all the
we
time.
all have our fair share of
Yeah.
problems. um, and we all combat it in our own ways possible. But I think whenever I'm sad or depressed, I I go with the flow. So I live in the moment and I don't hold on to it. So for all those people who are listening to us, it is perfectly normal to feel sad and depressed and feel anxiety and feel anger. I go through all those emotions. I'd be inhuman if I didn't. If I didn't. But when I go through those emotions, those negative emotions, or those gray areas, I just think about stuff that I have gratitude for, and then I tide over it. So that's the method to my madness, and we all have our
Right.
ways of doing it. Some people say that you should walk through a doorway. That helps you combat stress. I mean, these are all weird things.
Right.
So stress, the thing is, the more you feed your stress, they become those big monsters, and then they start feeding off you, and then they eat you
Correct.
up one day. So you'd rather
Absolutely.
not pay too much attention. So someone has asked us, what is this CCFT? Guys, it's not rocket science. It's just jeera, it's dhania, akkha jeera, and akkha sauf. So you just take it and you roast it a bit. And what I do is I put it in a glass bottle, and I just take a teaspoon and a half, put it into two and a half glasses of water. Usko hum boil karte hain for around a good 15 minutes, and that's it. It's a green color, light green color tea that happens, and it's like green tea. So you just put it in a thermos and you store it, and you can keep having it. Now I'm speaking like you.
Super.
No, but Luke, more
Yeah.
importantly, I really, in between, the Bollywood industry lost two great
Right.
actors and human beings. We lost Irfan sir and Rishi ji. And honestly, I think I reached my lowest ebb then. And I know of a lot of people who did feel very low also in the industry, maybe because we knew them as well personally. But there are a lot of people who are maybe suffering with issues, and they all felt like, oh, this could happen to me as well. And you know, life is so unpredictable, and you do you do go through those feelings of anxiety. So what do you suggest for people out there who are feeling depression, because food again is interrelated, correlated with depression?
Absolutely. So I think, when people see this happening, I mean, there's a lot of death happening in our world every single day. But these are people, they've related to them in movies, they've been part of their childhood, their lives, and everything else. We have to understand there are two ways. Of course, our prayers should go out to their families, number one, because we have to give back that energy. And then number two, it should help us to focus on what we have. Right now, we are blessed because we have our life. We have people around us who have their life. So sometimes we have to learn from these things that have happened. It's unfortunate. Like I say, it can happen to anyone. If it's your destiny, it is going to happen to anyone, no matter who you are, what your designation is, what bank balance we have. It doesn't matter. But from this, then this is what we want people to learn from in life, that you have to live in the moment. You have to be grateful for what you have right now, because when it's lost, it's lost. And it's unfortunate that we have to learn these lessons as reminders from two veterans who have passed away recently. But I think constantly, you're big on gratitude. You don't go to bed without practicing gratitude. That's what you told me every single day. It's part of your life. It's part of my life. That's what makes us realize what we have. But when we lose it, there's too much of regret and too much of grief. So when it comes to food, I think, the clean and too much of grief. So when it comes to food, I think, the cleaner we eat, the better we are. That's why spirituality teaches us to be really
Something
important
happened.
for us. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. I think it's
Yes.
extremely important for us to learn from, life is constantly teaching us how to live. But now, hopefully we remember them for a long time, but most people will get back to their lives, get back to poor lifestyles, not looking after
Oh, I hope
themselves.
not. I
That
really
usually
hope not.
happens.
I
Yeah.
really hope
So,
not. I hope we learn and take a leaf from this, and this time shouldn't go to waste. So, tell us,
absolutely.
give us maybe some tips, Luke, on how to take precautionary measures, not just now, but even in the future. Because I really believe that even even in terms of etiquette, I think it's an important topic to broach while we're talking about masks and gloves now. But I've always noticed if there's someone who's down with a flu, earlier, or someone has a bad cough and is traveling on a flight, they never ever wear a mask. They
Yeah.
don't take care, and they really don't care about the other person. I think
Right.
we need to be aware that these are things that we need to take care for other people. And
Right.
we it's not about just the coronavirus, even a simple flu. Why
Correct.
can't we
Absolutely.
think about other people as well? So this habit should continue. We should start maintaining cleanliness. We should wear a mask if we are ill. You don't want to spread the germs. So that is
Right.
something that I
Yeah.
think that I have taken. And also the fact being that I live on the beach. I've said this before.
Right.
Now when I open the window and I see the beach, it's so clean, Lou. It used to be so dirty. And it makes me want to cry, because if, I mean, after this lockdown is over and done with and we tide through this time, I hope we don't get back to square one,
Yeah.
because I hope people are a little more responsible. I know we've digressed away from food and nutrition, but I really feel that while we are maintaining cleanliness within us,
Yeah.
we have to maintain it even around us,
No,
and
Shilpa,
that's
you're
also
apt. I
very
mean,
important.
what you're saying has everything to do with health. People think it's all nutrition and exercise. No, but it's also your area. Now, a lot of my asthmatic children, my lung cancer patients, my COPD, lung issue patients are doing way better because the air is cleaner. So it is important. What you're talking about is very important for our health. It's not just nutrition and exercise. And if we don't learn from this and we go back to that life, I think nature is going to come down on us very, very harshly and very strongly if we don't learn from this. Because, you don't just need medicine or food to improve someone's lungs. The first thing you need is clean air. So if you don't have clean air, your medicine and nutrition is secondary. It's not going to do what nature is supposed to do for us. So like you, I'm hoping that people really take this seriously. And like you said, you know, everyone has to start practicing themselves. Now, tomorrow we take masks and we go out, but someone in public just sneezes outside without a mask.
Considering your bad network, we will still continue.
We'll continue. We'll go on, yeah.
Give us maybe some easy concoctions, Luke. I know you're really fab with these things. And what can we do? What can we make quickly in terms of with things that are readily available to maybe strengthen our immunity, or maybe some feel good kind of medicine?
Right. Okay. Cool.
That is
so.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to give the concoction. You're going to give it the feel good factor. So it works as a placebo. People will drink it and feel good. That's how we're going to do it. Okay. So the simplest thing is we can't go wrong with ginger, a one inch piece of ginger mashed with 2 cloves of garlic. Okay. We boil this in water, add a little bit of cinnamon, little bit of dalchini, cinnamon, and then we pour it in a mug and sprinkle a little bit of lemon juice. This is by far one of the most powerful immune boosters. Now, if someone is Jain and they can't have ginger and they can't have garlic, that's not a problem.
Good point.
They can do a concoction of fennel seeds, which is soft, exactly what you have. Cumin, the jeera, soft, ajwain, and what they can add to it is a little bit of turmeric. And they boil this concoction, they cool it, and then they add a little bit of lemon juice. By far, these are the 2 most powerful concoctions which we've used way before the lockdown for people with influenza, virals, colds, and coughs. You know, turmeric is excellent, Shilpa, as you know. You know, even having a little bit of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a little bit of ghee or coconut oil in the morning to absorb it. That is fantastic for immunity. So these are the simplest concoctions. Yeah. These are things people can make easily.
I swear by it, Luke.